Hello, classmates. This is Dialogic OD, the Intervention World Cafe, presented to you by Uriel Cordova. To begin, I would just like to give you a little bit of background on this method. The World Cafe, as it is now known, was discovered by an accident by Juanita Brown and David Isaacs. And so the story goes that in 1995, they were having a meeting. There was a little bit of weather that made them change their plans. And the group that they had originally scheduled to have a discussion with now found themselves crammed into a house, which forced them to break the groups into small groups, which forced the group to be divided into smaller groups. And from this method, they essentially created now known as the World Cafe. Basically, what it is, as I will try to give some the basic concepts, we have 7 principles that we must follow. And if you would like some more information, the website to find that information is theworldcafe.com. So let's begin. First, we know that there are 7 things that we must follow, and the first thing is we need to make sure we set the context. And so what this means is knowing what the purpose is and the goal in bringing people together. Why are we together? What is our goal? What is the theme? What are the questions that will be helpful? So you have to keep in mind questions that are helpful in guiding the discussion. The next thing that you need is to create hospitable spaces. And so in this method, we're obviously broken into smaller groups. And so the way this works is you have rotating members. You have small tables, 4 people at a table. One of those will stay permanently at the table just to be the host. But creating the hospitable spaces means you have to create safe and inviting space for conversation, for people to feel comfortable. When people feel comfortable, they are most likely to be creative, and that's where creative thinking comes from. They're more likely to speak and more likely to listen if they feel comfortable. So the physical layout actually matters in this. When you create a welcoming atmosphere. The next thing that really matters, as I was saying earlier, is exploring the questions that actually matter, right? So that's the third step that we need to take into consideration. So you have to find compelling questions relevant to real life concern to the group. So the group may have a lot of questions, but when you come into the group, you want to have that question or questions laid out already ahead of time so that you know what to stay on track. And that can serve as a starting point for conversation. It can also end up in different scenarios. But exploring the questions that matter, that's the third step. Now we go to the fourth step, which is encouraging everyone's contribution. Again, this goes back to creating a safe environment for everyone. And so this is the very importance. You have to realize the importance of participation. So encouraging everyone in the group to share. Everyone has different ideas, different perspectives, and it's really, really important to listen. You have to learn to listen. And so, having said that, the next step is called cross-pollinate and connect diverse perspectives. So what does this mean? As you can see in this little picture, the people rotating, they actually act as bees. When they take pollen from a flower to another flower, they're cross-pollinate. That is exactly what they're doing. They're taking ideas and moving them from one table to another. So that actually really connects the diverse perspectives, and that is what we want. We want to make sure that members are able to move between tables, to meet new people, and actively contribute thoughts, and that's very important. And like I said, thoughts, that's exactly how they will grow. The next thing is listen together for patterns, insights, and deeper questions. So it's very, very important to listen for what listening matters. That's really what you have to keep in mind. Listening really does matter. You need to learn to give and receive listening. So it sounds kind of weird, but it just means, you have to be able to listen, and you have to let other people listen to you. And that is key in this process. That allows the true sharing. Instead of, wanting to impose some ideas, you're actually listening to other people's perspectives. The next thing is harvest and share collective discoveries. So, of course, with harvest collective discoveries, each table had a different patterns. The importance of this is every table's thoughts are connected to understand, and you have to encourage sharing to the large group. So once you're done in your small group, it's really you should be encouraged to share in your big group. That'll help, and as well have a way of capturing those ideas, and we call it here harvesting. The next thing, this is just a summary for you guys. You can see the picture here. The 7 principles to follow for World Cafe is, the first thing is you need to set the context. You need to create hospitable spaces, explore questions that matter, encourage contribution, cross-pollinate and connect perspectives, listen together for patterns, insight, and deeper questions, harvest and share discoveries. Again, here are the references. The website www.theworldcafe.com. That is where you can find all the history. Hope this helps.